My mission is to help you protect your home. It's your safe space, it belongs to you, and it's where you should feel most at peace. But I've seen it happen all too often where someone gets burgled and their house just doesn't feel like home anymore, to such an extent that they've had to move. So together, we're going to make sure home invaders don't even consider you a target by shoring up your security and fixing all the weak points. A lot of these weak points we're about to discuss, you'll have without even realising. This video is all about running you through a full home security audit step by step, and I'm telling you now, if you implement these points, I guarantee, absolutely guarantee, your property will be more secure and better protected than it ever has been before. The thing is, burglars don't think like you and me. They look for small, forgotten weaknesses in properties so they can exploit those areas. By the end of this video, you'll know every one of them and how to close them off for good. Let's get into it. Number one. I call these the do it later jobs. These are the jobs we're all guilty of procrastinating on, and honestly, I do it myself, so don't worry. This isn't coming from a place of security superiority or anything. So let's get into it. What do I mean by do it later jobs? Well, one example is you see, if a fence panel's missing or a gate doesn't latch properly, that's an open route straight into your garden. Burglars don't climb over what's already open for them, do they? They'll just walk straight through and in. And to anyone watching, they won't think twice seeing that because it doesn't seem abnormal, someone walking into a back garden. Even a temporary fix or a bolt will close off that access point. Here's another one. You see, a lock that sticks or half turns isn't a lock, it's just an invitation to a burglar, and they know they can force them easily. You need to replace or repair it. Don't tell yourself you'll do it next weekend, because we all know how that ends up going. Every day you delay is a day the door's easier to get through, and doors are by far the most common access points into a home when it comes to burglary. Here's another one. Overgrown shrubs are perfect hiding spots for burglars. They'll use them to move around your property without being seen, so you need to keep them trimmed back, nice and low. Neat gardens aren't just tidy, they're tactical. Look, your DIY list that you keep putting off is their entry list, so you need to get on top of it. On to the next one. Do you remember in school when your teacher was on the whiteboard, and let's say they'd just they'd drawn and written onto the whiteboard some information stuff, and when they came to wiping it off, they left like a tiny little bit, like that on the board? That used to drive me insane. Surely I'm not the only one. That would drive me mad. And obviously I'd stay quiet and never mention it, but I couldn't wait until that bit got rubbed off and cleaned. Technically, these are the weak points of any home because usually they're the only access points. So how do we secure this up? Doors that auto lock, they stop the walk-in burglaries. These are the ones where someone literally just tries the handle in daylight, strolls inside, and honestly, you'd be amazed how often this happens. I've got loads of customers who've had this exact scenario happen to them. Still, of course, always deadlock the doors at night or when you go out, but auto locks cut off that quick, opportunistic entry, which is a really common way of burglary, especially in the UK. Leaving keys in or near the door makes them visible and reachable. Thieves use hooks and rods and things like that through letterboxes to grab them. You need to keep keys in a cupboard or a drawer at least a few steps away just to make it more secure. Burglars climb on flat roofs and pop upstairs windows because they know that the upstairs are often not as well protected as the ground floor, you see. When it comes to things like alarms, lock those windows and add simple restrictors if needed, like sash jammers, which are just cheap units you screw onto the windows. And just like that, you've removed one of their easiest stealth routes. Remember that just because it looks closed, it's not the same as locked. Do you know another one that used to always really bother me in school was, you know, when something was circled and the lines didn't meet and I could see that it didn't meet. Oh, it used to drive me insane. I wanted to just tell them, could you just make that touch? But, you know, again, I didn't. I kept my mouth shut to try and make sure I didn't get bullied. You know your outhouses outside that you just sometimes, you know, forget exist? Let me explain why you should give them some thought. You see, these are high value, low attention targets. You have things like bikes, power tools, lawn equipment, easy resale gear with minimal noise when it comes to break-in, fit a solid lock, or better yet, link a sensor to your main alarm, make them a pain to enter. Burglars are lazy losers. If you've made entry difficult, they'll usually just move on. That's why they do this for a living. A ladder left out, you see, is a staircase for a thief. They'll use it to reach upper windows or balconies. You need to chain it or lock it up or put it inside. The harder it is to move, the less useful it is to them. The reason is ladders aren't exactly inconspicuous to move, are they? So burglars don't walk down the street with them because people will get suspicious. So don't do the job for them by leaving them out and unlocked. You'd be amazed how often people do this, but never keep spare keys in the garage or the shed. If they break in, you've just given them the master key to your house, haven't you? Store the spares in a quality coded key box or inside your home. Don't arm the burglar with your own kit. You need to make sure your security system is actually doing what it's supposed to do. So I'll tell you how. So to begin, what you need to do, walk test devices. Once in a while, trigger every detector and make sure the panel logs each one through a keypad or through the app. A light on the PIR isn't proof that it's working. You want confirmation that the system saw and recorded the event. Here's another important one. Your external bell box is exposed to rain, heat, cold, all sorts that can break it. The piezo, which is the piece of the sounder that makes the sound, wears out. Test it by setting the alarm off briefly, listen and check that it's loud. A silent bell box is still better than nothing because it's a good visual deterrent, but you also want it working and making an audible alarm. I know this might sound obvious, but I know so many people who have an alarm and have never used it. I've even got customers I've had for 10 years, and for all those years of me servicing the system, they've never put it on once, even though I advised them to. One main reason is they're just not in the habit of using it. So set an alarm on your phone to remind you when you set it, when you go into bed, and something simple, you know, just like a post-it note on the front door to remind you to set the alarm when you're leaving. Trust me, within a week, it'll become second nature and you won't need alarms and notes and stuff like that. There is specific maintenance you should be doing here, so let me explain. Start with you need to clean the lenses on your CCTV and do a night check. Spiders love the warmth of camera lenses, so what do? They cover them in spider webs. Then the webs reflect the infrared light and blind your view at night. So clean them every few months and spray around them with some spider spray to keep the spiders away for as long as possible. And here's a secret little tip. Look, if you don't have the means of getting up to your cameras to clean them, which is often the case, you know, people who haven't got ladders, you know what you can do? Shoot them with a water gun a few times and it works well too. It's not quite as good, but honestly, give it a try. And if it doesn't work, you can blame me. This one's an important one. You need to aim for entry routes, not like pointing up to the sky and like recording the tops of trees. You need to cover driveways, doors and side paths, and avoid pointing into bright lights because that'll just blind the cameras. So make sure you don't accidentally set it up staring straight into a street lamp or something. You need to adjust the angles until you can be sure you've got the best coverage possible out of every camera that you've got. Look, never assume that just because the live view is working on the system, that means the system is recording properly. You need to check the footage log. And this is easy to do. Just play back a random night and make sure the time and date are accurate, because you can't really use blurry or mistimed clips as evidence. It just doesn't really hold up in court and it can make it all fall apart. Look, a dirty camera is a dumb camera. These are things that we can all be guilty of without even realising, and it leaves us vulnerable. So here's an obvious one. Even though we all know someone who does it, don't store spare keys somewhere dumb like under the mat. I don't think I really need to say much more on this one. No holiday broadcasting, don't advertise when you're away, try and keep travel posts until you're back. But look, we're all human. Look, when I'm away, I like to share a picture of my beer at the beach. I just advise if you're gonna do this stuff, just make sure either your security is top notch or make sure that your social's private. Doing both is ideal. Here's another one people often forget. An undeadlocked door can be kicked in seconds, so before bed, just make sure you've deadlocked or bolted all the doors. The last thing you want is easy access for them, especially when you're asleep snoring away. Look, your routines are intel for burglars, so make sure your routines are security conscious ones. LEDs can be really long lasting, but they don't last forever. And actually, when they first started becoming popular for outdoor security lights, they were a nightmare. They kept failing after 3 months, and I've been telling customers they'd last ages, but thankfully they've got better. Anyway, test your lights after dark, make sure the sensors trigger and are picking up in the areas they're supposed to, and stay on long enough to be a deterrent. Focus on complete coverage around the house, especially at entry points. Bright light removes a burglar's cover and they move on fast when they feel like they're exposed. Gravel underfoot makes noise, so it's harder to sneak up to the house. It's actually really good on a front drive. If you combine that with signage to say that the home is monitored by a monitoring station and a flashing bell box LED, you've made your property visibly really well defended. Make it loud, make it lit, and make it obvious. This is really straightforward to do. What we need to do first of all is do a house survey. As soon as the video ends, walk around your property with this checklist. It's all chaptered in the description and stuff. This might sound odd, but look at it as if you're the burglar wanting to break in, and honestly, you'll quickly see the vulnerabilities that you hadn't ever noticed before. And importantly, don't wait until the weekend. Even one small repair, doing a lock, a fence panel drastically changes your risk and makes you much more secure. And honestly, just committing to one thing can change your entire mindset and make you more inclined to go around everything faster. And the next stage to defend your home even more is understanding how burglars target entire streets. So if you want another video to help you stay one step ahead of them, check this one out.